Enter Creon. Citizens, they tell me that King Oedipus has laid a slanderous accusation on me. I will not bear it. If he thinks that I have done him any harm by word or act in this calamitous hour, I will not live. Life is too long a time. To hear such scandal, nay, more than scandal, a grievous imputation, if you, my friends, my country, call me traitor. The words, I think, were spoken in the stress of anger, ill considered. And did he say the prophet lied under my instigation? He did. With what intention I cannot tell. Said with unflinching eye, was it? Deliberate, this accusation that he made against me. I do not scrutinize my master's actions, but here he comes. Enter Oedipus. Well, sir, what brings you here? Have you the face to stand before my door, proved plotter against my life, thief of my crown? Do you take me for a coward or a fool? Did you suppose I wanted eyes to see the plot preparing, wits to counter it? And what a foolish plot! You, without backing of friends or purse, to go in quest of kingship? Kingdoms are won by men and money bags. Hear my reply, and when you know, then judge. I doubt your eloquence will teach me much. You are my bitterest enemy. That I know. First, tell me anything, except that you are honest. Can you believe this obstinacy does you any good? Can you believe that you may carry on intrigues against your house and go scot-free? I should be a fool to believe it. Tell me, though, what wrong you think I have done you? Was it you that made me bring that canting prophet here? It was, and I would do the same again. Tell me, how long ago did Laius, what? I do not understand. How long is it since Laius disappeared? A long time now, longer than I can say. Was this old prophet at his business then? Yes, held in equal honor then as now. In those days, did he ever mention me? Not in my hearing. Was there no inquest made into this death? Indeed, there was, in vain. And the man of wisdom, why was he silent then? I do not presume to say more than I know. One thing you know, and would be wise to confess. What I know, I will freely confess. What do I know? This, that without your prompting, the fortune teller would never have dared to name me killer of Laius. If he did so, you know best, but give me leave, as you have questioned me, to question you. Ask on. You cannot prove me guilty of blood. Are you my sister's husband? Sir, I am. And she your equal partner in rule and possession. All that she can desire is hers by right. Have I a third and equal share of honor? You have. So much the more your proven falseness. But I deny it. Reason with yourself, as I, and ask, would any man exchange a quiet life with royal rank assured for an uneasy throne? To be a king, in name, was never part of my ambition. Enough for me to live a kingly life. What more could any moderate man desire? I have your ear for all my fair requests, but in your place I should have much to do that irked me. How could kingship please me more than royalty and rule without regret? I am not yet so besotted as to seek more honors than are good for me. I stand in all men's favor, I am all men's friend. Why, those who seek your audience ask for me, knowing that way the surest to success. And would I change this life for the other? No, none but a fool would be so faithless. Treason? That's not my policy, nor, if I know it, the policy of any friend of mine. To test me, first go to the Pythian shrine. Ask if the message I brought back was true. Second, prove me guilty of any compact with the soothsayer, then take me and condemn to death. My voice will join with yours in the sentence. But charged behind my back on blind suspicion, I will not be. To slur a good man's name with baseless slander is one crime. Another is rashly to mistake bad men for good. Cast out an honest friend, and you cast out your life, your dearest treasure. Time will teach you the truth of this. Time alone can prove the honest man. One day proclaims the sinner. Good words, and fitting for a prudent man to heed and hear. Quick thoughts are seldom safest. When a quick plotter's on the move, my friend, it's safest to be quick in counterplotting. Am I to sit and wait for him and lose my opportunity while he takes his? What do you want then? Will you banish me? By no means. I would have you dead, not banished. If you can show in what way I have wronged you, still clinging to your obstinate arguments, because I know you are wrong. I know I am right. In your own eyes, not in mine. You are a knave. And what if you are mistaken? Kings must rule, not when they rule unjustly. Hear him, Thebes, my city. Yours? Is she not also mine? Sirs, enough. Here comes the queen, Jocasta. She should be able to compose this quarrel. Enter Jocasta from the palace. What is the meaning of this loud argument, you quarrelsome men? I wonder you are not ashamed in this time of distress to air your private troubles. Come in, my husband, and Creon, you go home. You are making much of some unimportant grievance. Not so, my sister. Your husband Oedipus condemns me out of hand with a terrible sentence, a choice of death or banishment. It is true, I have found him craftily plotting against my person. May the curse of heaven rest on me forever if I am guilty of any such design. The love of God, believe it, Oedipus. For his oath's sake, oh, believe it, and for mine, and theirs who are here to witness. Consent, O king, consent, be merciful, and learn to yield. And why should I repent? His oath should be his shield, who never played you false before. You know for what you pray? We know. Say more. He swore his friendship. Is it right to cast away a friend condemned unheard upon an idle word? In asking this, you ask my death or banishment. Forbid the thought. Oh, by the Lord of life, the Son, forbid. Lost may I be to God and man if was ever mine. But while our people pine, my heart is racked anew. If you, my princes, add your strife to our old misery, then let him go, even though it mean my death or exile and disgrace. Your voice, not his, has won my mercy. Him I hate forever. In mercy obdurate, as harsh in anger. Such natures earn self-torture. Will you be gone? I will, unjustly judged by you alone. Exits. Persuade, madam, persuade the king to go a while apart. How was this trouble made? Wild surmise and the smart of baseless calumny grew hot, each holding each to blame. Just so. For what? Ask not again. Enough our stricken country's shame, to let this other rest where it remains, were best. A fine peacekeeper's part your worships would have played. Here yet again, O king, believe us true. Could ours be such simplicity as rashly from his sheltering arms to stray? Whose wisdom in the day of wrath upheld our land, whose hand again shall lead us through storm to tranquility? Will you not tell me too? Tell me, I implore you. Why have you conceived this terrible hatred against him? I will. You are more to me than these good men. The fault is Creon's, and his this plot against me. How was it his? What is the accusation? He says the murder of Laius was my doing. From his own knowledge or other men's report. Ha ha, there's his cleverness. He shields himself by using a rascally soothsayer as his tool. Then absolve yourself at once, for I can tell you, no man possesses the secret of divination, and I have proof. An oracle was given to Laius, from Phoebus, no, but from his ministers, that he should die by the hands of his own child, his child and mine. What came of it? Laius, it is common knowledge, was killed by outland robbers at a place where three roads meet. As for the child, it was not yet 3 days old when he cast it out, by other hands, not his, with riveted ankles, to perish on the empty mountainside. There, then, Apollo did not so contrive it. The offspring did not kill the father. The father, for all his fears, was killed not by his son. Yet such were the prophet's warnings. Why should you, then, heed them for a moment? What he intends, the God will show us in his own good time. My wife, what you have said has troubled me. My mind goes back, and something in me moves. Why? What is the matter? How you turn and start? Did you not say that Laius was killed at a place where three roads meet? That was the story, and is the story still? Where? In what country? The land called Phocis, where the road divides, leading to Delphi and Dulia? How long ago did it happen? It became known a little time before your reign began. Oh God, what wilt thou do to me? Why, Oedipus, what weighs upon your mind? Oh, do not ask, but tell me, what was Laius like? How old? Tall, silver-frosted hair, about your figure. Ah, wretch! Am I unwittingly self-cursed? What, oh my king, what is it? You frighten me. Had then the prophet eyes? Oh, is it possible? To prove it certain, tell me one thing more. You frighten me. I will tell you all I know. How was the king attended? By a few, or in full state with numerous bodyguard? 5 men in all, a herald leading them, one carriage only, in which King Laius rode. Clearer, alas, too clear. Who told you this? A servant, the only survivor that returned. Is he still in the household? No, when he came back and found you king in his late master's place, he earnestly begged me to let him go away, into the country to become a shepherd, far from the city's eyes. I let him go. Poor fellow, he might have asked a greater favor. He was a good slave. Could we have him here without delay? We could. Why do you ask? Oh, wife, I fear, I fear that I have said too much, and therefore I must see this man. Well, you shall see him. Meantime, may I not hear what weighs so heavily on your heart? You shall, if things are as I see them. You are the first to whom I would tell my story. Listen then. My father was a Corinthian, Polybus, my mother a Dorian, Merope. At home, I rose to be a person of some preeminence until a strange thing happened, a curious thing, though perhaps I took it to heart more than it deserved. One day at table, a fellow who had been drinking deeply made bold to say I was not my father's son. That hurt me, but for the time I suffered in silence as well as I could. Next day, I approached my parents and asked them to tell me the truth. They were bitterly angry that anyone should dare to put such a story about, and I was relieved. Yet somehow the smart remained, and a thing like that soon passes from hand to hand. So, without my parents' knowledge, I went to Python, but came back disappointed of any answer to the question I had asked, and having heard instead a tale of horror and misery. I must marry my mother and become the parent of a misbegotten brood, an offense to all mankind, and kill my father. At this, I fled away, putting the stars between me and Corinth, never to see home again, that no such horror should ever come to pass. My journey brought me into the neighborhood where your late king met his end. Listen, my wife, this is the truth. When I came to the place where three roads join, I met a herald followed by a horse-drawn carriage and a man seated therein, just as you have described. The leader roughly ordered me out of the way, and his venerable master joined in with a surly command. It was the driver that thrust me aside, and him I struck, for I was angry. The old man saw it, leaning from the carriage, waited until I passed, then, seizing for weapon the driver's two-pronged goad, struck me on the head. He paid with interest for his temerity. Quick as lightning, the staff in this right hand did its work. He tumbled headlong out of the carriage, and every man of them there I killed. But now, if the blood of Laius ran in the stranger's veins, is there any more wretched mortal than I, more hated by God and man? It is I whom no stranger, no citizen must take to his house, I to whom none may speak. On me is the curse that none but I have laid. His wife, these hands that killed him have touched her. Is this my sin? Am I not utterly foul? Banished from here, and in my banishment, debarred from home and from my fatherland, which I must shun forever, lest I live to make my mother my wife and kill my father, Polybus, to whom I owe my life. Can it be any but some monstrous god of evil that has sent this doom upon me? Oh, never, never, holy powers above, may that day come. May I be sooner dead and blotted from the face of earth than live to bear the scars of such vile circumstance. Sir, these are terrible words, but yet be hopeful until you learn the whole truth from our witness. That is my only hope, to await the shepherd. And why? What help do you expect from him? This, if we find his story fits with yours, I am absolved. In what particular point? What did I say? You said he spoke of robbers, that robbers killed him. If he still says robbers, it was not I. One is not more than one. But if he speaks of one lone wayfarer, there is no escape. The finger points to me. Oh, but I assure you that was what he said. He cannot go back on it now. The whole town heard it, not only I. And even if he changes his story in some small point, he cannot in any event pretend that Laius died as was foretold. For Loxias said a child of mine should kill him. It was not to be, poor child. It was he that died. A fig for divination. After this, I would not cross the road for any of it. You are right. Still, let us have the shepherd here. Send one to fetch him. I will at once. Come in. I will do nothing other than you wish. And they leave. I only ask to live with pure faith keeping in word and deed that law which leaps the sky, made of no mortal mold, undimmed, unsleeping, whose living Godhead does not age or die. Pride breeds the tyrant, swollen with ill-found booty. From castle height, pride tumbles to the pit, all footing lost. Zeal stripped for civic duty, no law forbids, may God still prosper it. Who walks his own high-handed way, disdaining true righteousness and holy ornament? Who falsely wins all sacred things, profaning? Shall he escape his doomed pride's punishment? Shall he by any armor be defended from God's sharp wrath, who casts out right for wrong? If wickedness for virtue be commended, farewell, sweet harmonies of sacred song. Farewell, Theban and Olympian altar. Farewell, O heart of earth, invalid shrine. If this time your omens fail or falter, and man no longer own your voice divine. Zeus, if thou livest all ruling, all pervading, awake, old oracles are out of mind. Apollo's name denied, his glory fading. There is no godliness in all mankind.